Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jodi James, and it is 4:20, and that makes this Elevated Intel. Thanks for stopping in. This is Florida Cannabis Action Network's opportunity to talk to you guys about the news that we're following, the issues that are important to Floridians, and some of the stuff that's happening nationally. We're shaking things up a little bit at Florida Cannabis Action Network. We're going to change the format of Elevated Intel, and we're going to poke at you a couple times during the program to remind you to let us know what day would you most be able to watch Elevated Intel live, because we think we're going to get off Fridays too. I have a special guest with me today. It's Alex.
So,
Hi, Alex. This is Alex Johnson. Alex Johnson's coming to you from Jacksonville, Florida. You may, if you're following Florida Cannabis Action Network's page, you may have seen that Alex is our business member of the month and my co-host today for Elevated Intel. Hi, Alex.
hello. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for letting me co-host with you today. This is exciting.
It is exciting. Thank you for being here. We have gotten to know you a little bit, so I know a little bit of Alex, right? But I guess I don't know if I really know your origin story. When people ask you your origin story, how did you get here?
There's a lot of how I got here, but my husband and I moved to Florida back in 2018, and I quickly got involved into the cannabis industry from there. Worked at a dispensary. Not only did cannabis change my life, but I was able to see it changing so many other people's lives. That it was exciting to be a part of this, the science, the people, the community. I loved it all, and each
Yeah.
step has just led to the next. I was working at a clinic when I got to join FL Can, came to my first cannabis at the Capitol, and then I was hooked. And from there, this past year, we started our own mobile medical marijuana clinic. We had been hosting some community events. Like I said, I've been working in the industry and decided to take that leap to open our own. So, yeah.
I'm really glad you did. When I was looking at writing up the business feature on you guys, I said, what I think you are offering is really right priced recommendations with the amount of information that people need, right? Meeting them where they're at. You are brilliant in this stuff. And when you said the science and everything, I'm like, I'm a little disappointed in the science these days, but we'll get to there later. But I'm with you. You see so many lives transform, and that's why the science is pissing me off, honestly, right? Because I was reading something, and Monica Love from Pensacola sent me an article about, new science says that it really doesn't help people's mental health. And I'm thinking, wow, how in the world could you do good science and get there, right?
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I saw that article too, and that one kind of flabbergasted me. I think there's some good ones coming. I've got some to share. Um,
You came
yes,
prepared with something good news.
I
We're
did
gonna
good
do the
science.
news. All right, let's do the and you brought me science. Well, I brought
Yeah, that's
drama
my
and
favorite.
intrigue.
Ooh, I brought
So,
that too.
all right. All right. Well, Alex, what do you got for us this week?
Yeah. So one of my favorite ones was oftentimes we hear that cannabis has a negative impact on brain health.
I've seen that.
And or it's the stigma that comes along with it. But this research actually showed that in older adults age 40 to 70, they tested about 26,000 people, and
Gosh,
they actually had larger brain volumes and cognitive function in people that had been lifetime cannabis users than those that had not. So they tested those that had been lifetime users, those who had only used in adolescence, and those who had never used. And even those that
okay.
had used in adolescence had a larger brain volumes and cognitive function than those who had never used.
Love that. Particularly since I've been using cannabis forever and I'm old. But yeah, no, really, no, I really do love that. And they used to, this is your brain on drugs, right? That was my era. This is your brain on drugs. And they would show all this activity and look at how this brain lights up on cannabis. Like that was a bad thing. And I kept thinking that can't possibly be bad. More receptors and more stimulation and all right, very good. So, I am maybe not the lone cannabis user in my family anymore, but I do have a cousin that is like 6 days, 11, when's her birthday? Just a few days older than I am. She has lorded it over me our entire lives. I think she's 6 days older than I am, 5 days, whatever. So we'll see. I will keep you posted as we age to figure out which one of us ages more gracefully. I have one
It
of my
was
girlfriends that is the same age as me. She's going to be going on our members cruise. So she's going with me on the cruise in November. So you can judge for yourself
There
because
we
I am
go.
the cannabis consumer and she is not. So that's a great story. That's a great story.
It
Are you
was
following anything else?
It is one more thing I want to add on it before the next one. It was
No,
interesting. It was a huge difference in depending on sex. It seemed to affect males more than females. Like whereas females who hadn't used and had used didn't have as much of a difference as the males that had used and not used. So they said that they would like to research that further.
and they should. My mentor used to talk about the left brain, right brain connection with cannabis. And I just, one of our community outreach folks, Julie Kurtz, I had given her a book called Food of the Gods and how we had kind of evolved with cannabis. And, lower brain stem, where you're functioning like in your lizard brain and then you get a little higher sense of and we definitely want more men dealing with that upper left brain right brain and being more connected. Yes, less war, more peace, less war, more cannabis. It just really works for me. I love it. I love it. No, that's a great study and it is much better than that. Really doesn't help your mental. I assure you, without cannabis I would not be here today on
Yes,
so many levels.
very
So
much so.
anything else you're following?
Yeah, there was another study. I told you the science is I love it.
Bring us the science.
That showed that CBD and CBG are actually helping to reduce fatty liver disease and other metabolic conditions. So it showed that it improved blood sugar control, reduced harmful lipids, and that it may be helping the liver go through a metabolic remodeling. So there's not enough for how it translates to human treatments yet, but they believe there could be great plant steps in plant medicine for metabolic conditions. So,
So should I choose to give up my terribly unhealthy lifestyle, cannabis will bring me back to full
yes.
youth and vitality.
Look,
I'm in.
I
I'm
I'm a diabetic and I've said that I know it helps me with blood sugar, so it's kind of cool to see some of this science confirming what I've already experienced to be helpful.
so you can pretty much measure your sugars. I mean, you're checking sugars anyhow. You can see how food is impacting your body. And then can see the difference when you use cannabis through
Yeah,
your medical professional. Pretty exciting stuff.
it
Well,
is.
that's excellent. Bring the science from seed to science. Elevated intel. Wow, I feel so frivolous now. Thanks.
We're gonna have healthy livers and big brains.
Nice. Wow. And well, Florida Cannabis Action Network did something a whole long time ago about better aging through cannabis.
Right.
And truly it sounds like the science is getting there. It's really again, this is a tough time in like universal time because forever we knew how good cannabis was. We just knew you could use it. You saw the difference in people's lives. Not only was it great, it was worth fighting for, right? People who sacrificed their lives for legal cannabis access, people who have used every other drug imaginable to treat their condition, and then voila, children who have autism that hadn't spoken in years, and now they're making eye contact with mom and dad and saying, I love you. Hello. Of course, the parents lose their children because, well, Welcome to the universe of cannabis. Fascinating. I love you bringing the science. I appreciate that. We were going to talk a little bit because I think people need to know about the OMMU and the OMMU crackdown. So folks who are not in the industry, if you are a medical patient, I think the first place you're going to see this is when they take all the swag off the shelves, right? So
Yeah.
branded materials are kind of leaving the space. Doctors' offices, maybe no more coupons. What do we know about deals? Are they still going to be able to give me a deal for my birthday? Have we heard anything about that yet?
I know at this point sales are still going forward. There's still active sales showing up on the FL cannabis deals. I don't know about birthday deals. That's interesting. That's kind of, I know a lot of them have been going away with that already
I
though.
know.
So I think
Okay.
I hope we're still going to see first and second time kind of standard deals but I'm interested to see how rewards programs are maybe affected by the new rules too. Like, can we still get the
Sure.
deals, but can we get rewards or stack up points or
Okay, very good. So all of this is happening because the Office of Medical Marijuana Use on December 31st, the last day that they had regulatory authority under the emergency rules, passed a rule that really decimates um, marijuana businesses, medical marijuana treatment centers' ability to advertise. And advertising, marketing, no more paying social influencers. I think the one that kind of cracks me up, one of the new license holders is owned by Jim Belushi, right? So it's Belushi Farms. How do you tell Jim Belushi not to be an influencer? I just don't get it. I don't get it. But it is going to be interesting now. I know that they have some the effect. It actually the rule went into effect on March 31st. So if you haven't visited a dispensary recently, expect it to be weird. One of the things that they got a little freaked out about, sometimes you'll go in and you'll see the brands and they'll have pretty colored packaging like you might see in California or any other civilized marijuana program. I'm thinking about cookies in particular right now, and all of that pretty packaging's got to go. It's attractive to children. Steve, who is part of our production team, Steve Thaw, he's going to join us for a few minutes later. Steve was telling us that he went in and they were being told that they couldn't even wear like fun lapel pens,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fun lapel pens.
And
Gotta
then
go.
they've been, I know at some of the dispensaries, they've already rolled back all of the t-shirts, all the hat. They can't have anything out there anymore. They can't have any flyers, informations. A lot of them used to hold business cards from all of the offices or therapists, sorts of different resources. All of those have had to go. We were part of an event at a dispensary one day, some setups, and they had a vendor that had colorful items, and they were told because they were colorful, it was for children, and they needed to go.
Well,
So
you know, this is really tough on me. I am the person who testified before the Florida legislature that Mary Poppins said a spoonful of sugar made the medicine go down. I just cannot believe that I became an adult and now they're telling me that the only thing I can possibly appreciate is in black and white.
grayscale only. Turn 18, grayscale.
Grayscale. You know, I think this was like a cartoon that they warned you about. You know, I'll never grow old. I'll never grow old. I'll never grow old. It has given me great joy this week, though. Other states are doing better.
Yes.
I want to assure everybody who is out there watching that other states are doing better. Uh, April 13th, Virginia's governor is the deadline for Virginia's governor to make his decision. I'm sorry, her decision. Cool, huh? Governor of Virginia has until April 13th to make the decision on vetoing, approving, or sending back recommendations on Virginia's adult use program. So, provided that the governor of Virginia signs the legislation that is currently on her desk, they could begin selling marijuana legally to adults as early as January 1st, 2027. So,
That's
go
awesome.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Why they have set up a joint resolution. I was very proud of Hawaii. They managed to get, and of course, Hawaii's got a great program, right? It's had a medical program forever. There's religious use, island weed. It's island weed. Maui, think Wowie. Uh, their senators got together and passed a really great resolution that they have sent on to Congress because, of course, we've been waiting forever for Congress to do something. But they went so far as to tell Congress that they also needed to get rid of old past marijuana convictions, right? So
That's
that's
awesome.
something that, yeah, it really is. We definitely need to get that direction. This has been a criminal justice nightmare forever. Are you following the White House CBD and the Medicaid CBD at all? Is that anything that's on your radar?
Some of it, some of it. Um, n- as it was really big, yes. And then as it's kind of been trailing along with it, I'm interested to see what this coming fall is going to change effects to when that hemp. Yeah,
Yeah, so we got a couple things going on. We've got November for the hemp ban, right?
right,
But April 1st was the deadline. So when he signed, a couple things happened right in a row, right? We had the government went back to business. And in that document that put the government back in business was the line that banned hemp products, right? Over
right,
the counter intoxicating hemp, maybe not beverages. Very confusing. It also gave some real direction to the industrial hemp, right? So it's that same bill makes it a little easier for industrial hemp, really put the kibosh on the intoxicating hemp. Of course, a month later, he came back, he signed the executive uh, order, told former Attorney General Pam Bondi, can I say that again? Former Attorney General Pam Bondi. Yeah, we sued her once ourselves. The He told former Attorney General Pam Bondi that she had to reschedule cannabis. She needed to get her ducks in a row. He wanted cannabis to be Schedule 3, and that in April we were going to start covering CBD products through Medicaid. So, touched on that a little bit last week. That program is ongoing. On April 2nd, the White House Office of Management and Budget put out a memo talking to the FDA about moving that process along. Now, the big question right now, as it stands, and we'll cover this more as we go, is whether or not they are going to, they being the FDA, is going to treat CBD as a supplement, treat CBD through the existing drug pathways, or create a novel category for it. Now, of course, Smart Approaches to Marijuana has sued to block that rollout of that program. They say it rolled out too fast, not enough research. And of course, a judge denied their emergency appeal, but they have a hearing on 420. I'm like, really? How is it that Smart Approaches to Marijuana gets my high holiday? I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't appreciate it.
not okay.
Just not okay. Totally not okay. I think we're going to talk a little bit now about what's happening in Florida legislature and in
Yeah.
kind of switch gears a little bit. We've got Hector Roos, who is our Director of Strategic Planning. Hector, do you want to pop on and join us? And let's talk a little bit about what we're doing in Florida.
Hi,
Hi, Hector.
Jodi. Hi, Lady Alex. It's great to see you both. You guys are looking super lovely today. This is Elevated Intel. We're glad to be a part of this program and to share news and notes with viewers, members, general public. Florida Can has a commitment to providing educational resources and a little entertainment, of course, through this process. And I'm very happy that we are continuing this as a tradition to provide such information. Yes, so coming back, I think the big question this year has been, well, 1.7 million petitions gathered by the Smart and Safe Florida campaign, and yet it appeared they did not. It's yesterday marked the 60-day anniversary of the Florida Secretary of State's announcement that no statewide ballot initiative made the signature goal for the November ballot. The requirement was 880,062 valid signatures, contingent to make it on the November ballot, contingent on Florida Supreme Court review. So 1.7 just didn't make it. Wasn't enough. So right. But in that news, just this week, the trial wrapped up in the lawsuit of Florida Decides Healthcare versus Byrd in the District Court of the Northern District of Florida. Smart and Safe is involved in this supportive of that lawsuit. The Florida Decides Healthcare is the group that's also tried to collect petitions during the same period of time to require a Medicaid expansion through that initiative process. They sued Florida officials to block HB 1205, a 2025 law that enacted strict regulations on petition gathering, including a ban on non-resident, non-citizen petition gatherers. The group argued that the law violated First Amendment rights and caused them to fail to qualify a 2026 Medicaid expansion ballot measure. This same law, in terms of Smart and Safe Florida campaign, was used to void over 200,000 validated petitions collected that way. So what we're expecting is the trial court to come back within a month to rule in favor of plaintiffs, but the final judgment will be delayed by the appeals process for months further. There may be enough time, again, for this slim chance, depending on the schedule, for those previously validated petitions to be counted, and for the state of Florida to bring the petition back to be considered by the Florida Supreme Court, and to be placed, which will then consider placing it on the November ballot. Previously, in February, the Florida Supreme Court refused to consider their legal review of the ballot, and a few weeks ago, they decided not to consider an appeal on the issue regarding the previously validated petitions. But the court also let stand other petitions that were previously validated, but then they changed their minds on it. So the gap was still 60 or 70,000 validated petitions to go to actually meet the requirement to get on the November ballot. So we'll keep monitoring this issue as we go along. Now moving forward back to legislature. So we just
wait a minute.
Sure.
So can I throw out my extra Smart and Safe swag? I mean,
No.
they sent us 2 years ago. They sent us boxes and boxes of stuff like 3 days before the end. We've been storing it in a closet. Note to people in the Brevard County area, we do have Smart and Safe swag if you'd like to come by and take some of it off our hands. But really, there's nothing to do with it anymore. They're done. Do you think they're done?
We really don't know. This is Easter weekend. I believe in the resurrection of the dead. Right. So it's very poignant, right? That this is that time of the year. So yes, I do believe there is a slim chance, and as always, there is a possibility, and with it begs the question that this is really all that's left on the calendar in regards to Smart and Safe. They're just laying low, and we'll find out in a couple weeks, which direction this is going to go. They have the reality is to get anything legitimately on the ballot. I mean, the formal deadline is in July. To add things onto the November ballot, but even the courts can still add it even after that by court order. So there is, we're at very beginning of April. So you got all of April, all of May, all of June, all of July. So to get it to the regular process, and then I'll probably vote by mail goes out sometime in the end of September. So those initial ballots get printed early to mid-September, and that's really probably the hard limit itself to get the question added.
Everybody say hi to Stu. Stu said hi.
Hey, Stu.
Hi, Stu.
BHR.
That is Stuart Baskin of.
And Cannabis HR.
Cannabis HR.
It is. I love your enthusiasm. I really appreciate that. When we were looking at the end of session, and we were talking about the fact that the reduced cards for veterans didn't make it. Ron Watson, one of the guys that we really trust to listen to, he said, you know what, as long as there's something going on, you just keep swinging. And so I appreciate that you're continuing to watch that for us. I think we're still swinging a little bit with putting the veterans card into the budget. That's a Hail Mary. Again, a good time for a Hail Mary. And that session starts up 4:20. So timing is everything. What else are you following in Florida, Hector?
Well, our governor, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, this week signed the SAFE Act, or SAVE Act. But let me be explicit. Safeguard American Voter Eligibility. This is House Bill 991 that was passed this previous session. Requires prospective and existing voters in Florida to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship in the form of a birth certificate, passport, or naturalization certificate as proof of citizenship to register to vote or remain on the voter rolls. This particular law goes into effect January 1st. This SAVE Act is similar to the proposed federal Save America Act that has stalled in the U.S. Senate. So under the new Florida law, credit cards, student IDs, and retirement community identifications can no longer be used as IDs when voting. And citizenship status of a driver must be reflected on driver's licenses starting in July 2027. After which, yes, a voter's eligibility to vote can be challenged by government officials through just simply cross-checking or cross-referencing voter registration applications with motor vehicle records. So they made the DMV the custody of citizenship records now as well.
Wait, because I did hear some of this debate. I know some of the senators were very concerned about the IDs and things like that. I have a real ID, right? I proved once that I am who I say I am, Sam. I have been a registered voter at this location, well, many years. I am 100% voter. I go in the poll. I go on rainy days. I go on cloudy days. I go on no snowy days. But I go. I don't let an election go. When the kids were little, I drug them with me and made them stand there while I voted. Now that they're older, I drag them with me and I stand there while they vote. Same thing, only different. Now I have to take them out to eat. So I guess it is a little different. Am I going to have to prove that I'm a citizen? And am I going to have to get my driver's license renewed? Despite the fact that, is that how you're reading this? Is that what we're expecting?
Yes, everybody. It's going to affect everybody because Real ID only says that you're here legally. Not that you're a citizen.
Right. So my family came in the early 1700s. My husband's family on both sides came on the Mayflower. I have decided that if your family came anytime before or anytime after like 1816, you just got to go. I will note that the Trump family came right around the 1820s. Just saying.
Are you also a daughter of the American Revolution?
I am not, because I'm separationalist. I came from separationalists.
Got it.
We came for religious freedom. We were hiding in the Ohio Valley when people were at war.
Understood.
We did grow hemp for the war effort in the 40s, though. Yeah, right.
Well, hemp is still used as a important material for clothing for the uniforms.
Well, it was just astounding to me. And some of you saw us last week. Ethel Rowland joined us. She's a past president of Florida Cannabis Action Network. She was the first one to point out to me, oh, yeah, isn't that beautiful? She gave you.
She gave me one of her bookmarks that says, focus on the future of cannabis in Florida. And it's a bookmark. Remember books when they were printed on hemp?
I do.
I still read books with and use bookmarks.
I do too. Benny Blanchard sent me a book this week, actually. Nice. Benny is the chair of our third branch. If you haven't had time to check out Talk It Out with Benny Blanchard, I recommend that you give that a listen. We're always looking for people who are interested in fighting the man.
So speaking of which, so does that make this the 42nd or the 43rd episode?
You know what? I think that we're gonna let our producer and talk it out as a separate series, right? We do
Uh-huh.
some special editions of Elevated Intel. And that reminds me, I need to tell folks again, if you're still watching or if you're watching just picked up live, we are going to be changing things up with Elevated Intel just a little bit. And we're also interested in figuring out if we would, if some of the people who are watching regularly would be able to watch live if we changed it from Friday afternoons. So feel free to comment in the chat if you're like, dude, I would love to watch you guys live, but I can't do Fridays at 4:20, but I'd love to see you on Tuesday, or I'd love to see you on Thursday. We are certainly taking recommendations. And let's not forget, we need to let members know that we are going to be hanging out in Cedar Key. Some of us are going to be hanging out in Cedar Key. Alex, you're not going to be there.
I won't, but I'll be having some FOMO for sure.
No,
Somewhat,
you're going on a
somewhat.
grand adventure. Tell me about
Yeah,
your grand adventure. Alex hasn't
we,
told us.
yeah, we're going to Arizona, and we're gonna go hiking. And this year is Alex and I's 10 years wedding anniversary, and so we're gonna take a trip and celebrate. And yeah, it'll be
Alex
good.
is
I'm excited.
Alex is excused. Certain Lady Alex. We knighted them. It's been a minute, but we certainly did. So elections, this election though is not going to be impacted by, because you said it'll go into January 1st.
First,
So
now we're still waiting to find out if it'll impact the federal version may impact it though. If it does clear the U.S. Senate finally and get adopted, and that essentially has the expectations to affect vote by mail, to effectively ban it across the country.
well, I vote Democrat. I've run for office as a Democrat before. I know we have a Republican and a Libertarian on the show right now, so we're pretty polypartisan. I don't have to feel bad about saying I'm a Democrat. But about the time that Democrats started to get really good at vote by mail, the Republicans were like, "Whoa, we got to stop vote by mail." So it's taken us 15 years to get good at it, but so it was a good run. I'm being a little flippant about vote by mail, but really vote by mail has been a tremendous benefit to folks. And we continue to tell you, check your voter registration, make sure that you are still registered to vote. If you have developed a motor neuron disorder, if you're getting a little shaky because you're getting a little older, if you usually sign your name like that, but you signed your name like that on your voter registration card, make sure that your signatures match. We had a lot of signatures that were thrown out simply because they did not match the signature on file. And that's, I learned from Hector, something that is done oftentimes by computers. And so it's got a little bit of a tolerance, and it's as if it's outside of what we think is the margin of error. And of course, that could be set differently. All kinds of things. There's all kinds of tricks they can play with your vote. But your vote matters. I know a lot of people started making sure that they were doing absentee ballots just in case they're not going to be here. Kathy Jordan, one of our past presidents, of course, was wheelchair bound, and voting by mail was 100%. What she did. It was a medical necessity for her. So interesting to follow that. Will you keep an eye on that and keep us posted? Because I'm very concerned about absentee ballots going away, particularly for people who are medically needy. I don't like the IDs. I heard some of the debate in Tallahassee about this Governor DeSantis's act, and I'm sure some of the voter groups will sue. Right?
Oh yes,
Don't you expect?
they've already. As soon as it
Okay.
got signed, the lawsuit started from the typical civil rights groups. So this will be obviously it started long before January 1st. So they give themselves an opportunity to get in front of a judge. But that's not the end of the story. We're just really beginning this conversation of the election cycle because there is an upcoming special session, right?
Right.
Right. You said April 20th. It's going to be the entire week. Right now, it's scheduled so far. That could change, and they must have it now because before it was called by the governor to reconsider the congressional district maps, right? So there were some decisions from the courts that relaxed the requirement for states to provide majority minority protected districts. And that relaxation, he's taken advantage to call a special session like other states have to redraw these districts now to benefit partisan ambitions. So that's what the initial call for. But now we know that the legislature did not pass a budget, and they're going to meet that week as well to pass their budget. And that's where we're, as Florida Cannabis Action Network does, we're going to observe what kind of laws are going to consider during that time and the effects of it. But because they are targeting to redraw these maps, the qualifications to run for Congress are now lowered automatically by a function of law that says that to get on the ballot now, you only need a third of the petitions as before, which is somewhere around 2,800. And you can collect your petitions. You can get signatures from any Florida voter in the entire state. So a lot of us at Florida Cannabis Action Network are hosting signature parties, saying if you want to run for Congress, and if you're already running for Congress, let us know. We want to hold signing parties with your petition, and we'll sign them by the hundreds anywhere in the state. And if you want to host a signing party near you, by all means, let us know. You can contact Jodi at floridacan.org as a quick one. With an I, Jodi, or myself.
At FLCAN.org.
Right, FLCAN, right? Or Hector Roos, like what it says on my name, right here. Hector Roos at FLCAN.org. And that's going to be exciting. That we have a number of candidates we're supporting, including some of our own members who want to run for Congress and say that this is the biggest issues, especially as it deals with personal health care and choices, are actually all right now at the federal level. And now that we're dealing with a new attorney general, it's going to restart the process again on rescheduling, and is going to lead off on a conversation.
General Pam Bondi.
Yeah, different than the one that we have right now. And then, of course, they're already also talking beyond that and saying decontrol. But the point is that we're now dealing with a different set of regulations, different set of people, and it's the federal government that's going to be driving the bus on this conversation, rather than the state of Florida. So we want people and support people on this issue who are going to Congress. So let us know, and we'll help you set up a signing party near you, all through this month and in the first half of May.
And so we're going to be at some events, have some happenings going on. Will these petitions be ready before the high holiday weekend?
Oh, absolutely. They're already ready. People are already collecting them throughout the state. So we're making good on these promises to help candidates qualify. And we're saying the message too that that the qualifying, just getting on the ballot, should not be a well test.
Right on. No, and I love hearing you say that. There are two ways to get on the ballot. You may have heard me talk about this. You can qualify by petition, and it's a little easier than it is to petition, particularly this year for Congress, as Hector mentioned. The other way is to pay a fee. So to get into Congress, you pay a little under $10,000 to put your name on the ballot for Congress. I've run for state house twice now. The first time we qualified by petition, it was a redistricting year, and again, we could collect signatures from everywhere. My husband was not even my boyfriend back then, but he was our guy in Miami. He was the president of the Hemp Awareness Council of the University of Miami at the time, and he and other students at signed petitions for me, even though I lived in Brevard County. The second time we wrote the check, a little under $3,000, I think, at the time. But we were in a very different position. Running for office is hard, and it can be scary, and it is a lot of fun, and it is a great way to get your name out there. I tell people the first time I ran for office, I was just a horrible, horrible candidate. But the guy that I was running against, I had gone to Tallahassee 3 or 4 times over the course of several years, and I'd asked him about cannabis policy. He was a former cop who got great joy out of seizing people's weed and burning it. And I'm like, dude, I get such joy out of burning weed too. We have so much in common. But alas, it wasn't quite like that. the story gets he beat me. That's okay. But I got a husband, so that was good. I was single when I ran the
You
first
won.
time. Right? I was totally winning. Um, and it was fascinating though, because he sent out like 25,000 mailers. And on one side was him, and on one side was me. And he was like, executive director of Florida Cannabis Action Network. There's no way we could have put out 25,000 mailers that said Florida Cannabis Action Network, anything about it. So, that was really a win. So lots of wins, lots of
Yeah.
wins. If you've ever thought about it, we certainly have a little bit of history of elections here at Cannabis Action Network, and we're happy to help. Anything else that you're following this week, Hector?
That sums about it. I'm looking forward to 420, and of course and seeing you at Cedar Key on the weekend of May 1st for the annual meeting.
That's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited about the May 1st. We do have some happenings. Alex, you're probably the busy winner in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Tell me more.
we got quite a bit going on this month. We've got our regular high societies, the first Tuesday of the month and the third Thursday of the month. And then we are joining Smoke Galaxy, a local smoke and glass shop, is having an event on the Saturday of 420 weekend. So we'll be joining
Okay.
them. And then on the 19th, we're launching our third High Society monthly event,
Oh, that's
Mary
ambitious.
Walkers. So there's been a group of us working on this. This event is going to move. So it's not going to be set in one location. We're going to pick different trails and parks, work and beaches throughout Jacksonville so that we can all come together for nature, wellness, community. So I'm really looking forward to it. And we're launching that 420 weekend. And then we'll be doing an event on 420.
So it's Mary, like marijuana,
Walkers.
walkers, because we're
But
going to
like
get out.
also like a play
I
on
love
words,
it.
like you're Mary and it's Mary.
Happy. I'm happy. I'm a happy walker. And that's why it's moving
Yes.
around, because there's
Perfect.
a double entendre. The walking is, but anyhow. No, good.
You got
Because,
it, yes.
now we're talking about celebrating cannabis wellness, right?
Yes.
I had some friends. I'm like, wow, when you stop sitting around smoking weed all day and eating, what do you do with yourself? Well, now that you're feeling better, you get out and you do some walking. Excellent. Suncoast Normal on the West Coast is going to be hosting Best of the Bay. That is their joint rolling contest. They've done that several years in a row now. You can win the belt if you are the best doobie roller in the Bay. That's going to be happening on April 18th at the Chillum. That's Chillum. I've gotten that wrong enough times that I figured I'd get it right for Carlos just once. That's going to be happening Saturday evening. Here on the East Coast, Central East Coast, I'm going to be hanging out at Tetra Horizons, Cocoa Beach. Now, this is a patient appreciation day, because if you call it a hemp fest, you have to hire way more cops. So Patient Appreciation Day on 419, that is Sunday. And we're going to be there, I guess, from 1 to 5. So Sunday afternoon, some bands. Come out, bring your voter registration card, and I'll give you a gift. Sign a few petitions for us. There's congressional candidates who would like to go to Congress and represent you, and we would like to help them get there. So that's pretty fabulous. It is Easter weekend, so
Yeah, it
happy Good
is.
Friday.
Happy
Do
Good
you?
Friday.
I am a woman of faith, so
Yes.
I will walk around saying He is risen on Sunday, and feel pretty good about it. We did think that this was a good time to talk about talking to your family about cannabis. Have you talked to your family about cannabis?
I've talked to a couple different, family members about cannabis. And there's varying opinions from different
Okay.
family members. Um, so, the more science that's shown, there's some that agree, some that disagree, some that say, hey, that might work for you.
Ugh,
Keep it over there. So all of the
I
above.
like that one. Hector, where did you go? You don't want to talk about telling your family about cannabis? Hello. So mine was easy because I was like 12 and they just don't like
Oh,
it. Just say no. I was an early adopter.
well, I'm in Miami, so which the majority of voters in Miami voted against Amendment 3. But you know what? You would think that was that said it all. But really, it's just we don't talk about that. That's usually the kind of conservative audience that we're dealing with. Of course, though, I'm also the chair of the Libertarian Party in Miami, so the conversation gets talked about all the time in other circles as well, and it is really a culture clash at the end of the day. But we, let's just put it this way: we should need to normalize this conversation. So we're talking about cannabis as much as we're talking about caffeine.
Alcohol. I was watching a Dave shared
I
it
would.
on
I don't
his.
want to compare
Yeah.
cannabis
No.
with alcohol because they're very
Very
dissimilar.
different. Mhm.
Dave showed me this little meme, right? And it's this couple walking down the street and they're just disgusted because they're seeing this marijuana shop and it's got pot leaves. And behind the couple, there's like 9,000, Budweiser and Seagrams, and because, alcohol's everywhere and it's okay. And I can't step outside and smoke weed. That's bad. Do you, Steve? Welcome. Good to see you.
Hi.
We don't see Steve on camera very often. Good to see you. Thanks for all you do, Steve. Hey,
Hey.
are you going to go home and see extended family? Will you be seeing extended family this weekend?
So actually, this weekend I am not. I have in the past, and I will tell you, it's very awkward. Because
Okay.
I was not out about cannabis for a very long time after I retired from the Navy. And they still expect me to be that clean cut sailor that doesn't touch the devil's lettuce or. And when I joined Florida Cannabis Action Network, I made a Facebook account and I warned them. I said, "Hey, I'm not really using it for personal stuff. I'm using it for Florida Cannabis Action Network," and that's how I kind of came out to them. But it's still weird smoking in front of them. Like I won't do it. I won't bring it with me. I'll try to, if I'm down there, I'll try to get an Airbnb that I can smoke at.
Okay.
And then do it beforehand and then just go and kind of tough it out and deal with it.
2.5 milligram lozenges from Sunburn are my friend.
The drink mixes. There's a couple places that sell like the shots and the Mio drink mixes. Those can also be good friends. Yep.
Well, it was weird. These drinks, I hadn't thought about the impact that drinks will have in the space. Of course, we did a beverage conference, an alternative beverage conference, Hector and I, a few weeks ago now. Uh, so that space, but one of my friends called me and he's like, "Hey, me and my kid, we've got one of these CBD drinks and we're going to drink it together." I said, "Well, wait a minute. I thought he hated cannabis." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, but he's really happy to try this drink." Like, weird.
Yeah, my family.
Well, it's really purpose, right? You drink alcohol to relax and have a good time. But what you're describing, Jodi, are functional beverages that actually have an effect on mood as well. That they're saying if you're going to have the intention to drink alcohol for a good time, well, how about you drink or coffee to get alert? Well, how about something with less side effects and that can produce even better results for your mood to help you concentrate or help you relax or help you just get in a better mood. So that's where people are exploring. And when I was in this functional beverage conference, Bev conference, they're going to have another one, by the way, in October
October.
in Tampa. I'm seeing drink manufacturers from the local area, Hispanic owned, right? And we're actually talking about, hey, there is this. Our people don't really, like this stuff, right? Like, so how do I sell it to them? Well, you don't have to just tell them. Look at all the other ingredients that are involved here, not just cannabis that are involved. So
Don't
it
lead
was part of that
cannabis.
conversation, right? It doesn't always have to be a cannabis conversation or lead off with a cannabis conversation. It's like saying, well, this is prescribed by a doctor too, you know, so
Uh-huh.
right. So it really just get coming in with a different frame of mind when it comes to what you're putting in your body and having that intention, that clear intention about what it is that you're looking for in terms of experience. And that's all it is at the end of the day, clarity.
My family has been great on this issue. They've really gotten over it. And of course, I've been putting it in their face for 40 years, right? And I was never quiet. I shall not go
Okay.
quietly into
Jodi,
the
you
night.
didn't blow smoke in their face, though, did you? Uh-oh. You're supposed to say no. You're supposed to say no. Of
I'm
course not,
Ty.
Hector.
I can neither confirm nor deny. A few, but in the last 10 years or so, because the science is catching up. And of course, 15 years ago, Sanjay Gupta got on and said it was good. And when Dr. Gupta said it was good, surely. But for the longest time, when someone would get really, really tragically ill in the family, they wouldn't call the doctor, they would call me. And when one of their kids got arrested, they didn't call the lawyer, they would call me. So times they are changing. I have consumed with a couple of my cousins now. Um, and you know what? When one of my uncles was dealing with terminal prostate or terminal cancer, uh, I brought cannabis. I took cannabis to them, the aunt and the uncle, and I knew kind of from their religion and their background that this was going to be a tough sell, or I thought it would be. But the education was out there. I brought whole leaf cannabis. I brought a vaporizer because I knew they would never smoke, and I brought my aunt some chocolate covered blueberries that were 5 milligrams a piece. So it's like, this is the strong medicine for my uncle, and this is the medicine for you. So she did come to appreciate 5 milligrams. But again, the intention, it just brought down the anxiety level a little bit. It wasn't about getting high, it was about treating a medical condition. That's what I like about what Alex's doctor's office is doing. There's some people that just need an awful lot of education on this. And there's some people that just need a little bit. And that right sized education is just as important as right pricing your doctor, making sure that you can get the follow up. I'm grateful to work with a doctor that is looking over a lot of my medical conditions because I'm trying to do some real lifestyle changes. So I am going to be seeing my family this weekend. I am not taking adult beverages, but I am going to take my 2.5 milligram gummies just to be on the safe side. I expect all will be well. Are you the only consumer in your family, Hector?
I cannot confirm or deny on their
All
behalf.
right. Okay, several generations. I mean, several generations. I'm probably the only consumer in mine. I mean, regular consumer.
Yeah, my brother and I were the only two that I know of.
Out in the brothers,
I
go Steve.
Well, he was out longer than me, so not worried about him.
in my
Got it,
immediate
got it.
family, I'm the only one. And my
That's it.
husband, but like my husband is a meat, but like
Right.
mom, my sister, no.
Just not, they're not your, we are not a cannabis. And I get so, it's so interesting when you talk about going home and, the experience of cannabis at home. If you are California, I've known third or fourth generation growers, right? I mean, cannabis is all about, their whole family is all about cannabis and has been. And not just in North Carolina, I've got friends who are third and fourth generation cannabis consumers. I have two kids, one of them no, one of them yes. So it's not like that they were both exposed to the same household. I asked the one, so Justice, what would you think? He's my youngest. What would you think if I got arrested? And he's like, well, mom, you know the consequences. Like, dude, would you even bail me out? I think it remains to be seen. But he loves his mother and he probably would. So, all right. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate getting to know you all a little bit better. I hope the folks who have been watching today appreciated the dialogue. We had some great news, and we will be back. I think we're going to try Thursday next week. So watch for us, Elevated Intel, on Thursday at 4:20 next week. Any wrapping up? Any last words? Hector.
Well, I'll just tell you, people are still concerned. Number one concern isn't just a stigma, but workplace mandatory drug testing, right?
Right.
So that is the number one thing we're going to solve as an organization if we're going to make this prohibition truly go away.
Absolutely. And you know, just because it is sold legally on a shelf does not mean that you will not fail a drug test. So be very, very careful about that. Megan's Law in Florida is now banning nitrous oxide sales. You used to be able to get the little whippets at head shops. Megan's Law has banned that. Apparently, Megan died from overexposure to nitrous oxide, and she had told the family it couldn't possibly be bad. She was buying it legally. So just because you are legally buying a product on the shelf does not mean that your employer will not terminate you for its use. So consume responsibly, consume
Yeah.
carefully. Steve, oh, something else, something
Yeah,
else.
just going to say that's going to be the interesting thing about the new Trump administration CBD medication through Medicare, Medicaid, right? Whether because they're gonna pass, you're still gonna pop tests there too.
Well, it's a good thing that they have Florida Cannabis Action Network to help them solve that problem. Steve, anything else from you today?
Nope, just hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, sending out peace and love. I know times are rough for everybody right now. We're going to get through. Let's light up together and have a great weekend.
That's right. I have a great pipe that we're all going to share once we can actually share a pipe and we don't have to pretend it's hemp, because I'm not passing hemp in my good pipe. Alex, thank you so much for joining me and bringing the news. Fascinating stuff you brought today. I hope you'll join me again.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me today. This has been fun.
It has been fun. This is Elevated Intel. My name's Jodi James. I'm with Florida Cannabis Action Network. You have been getting great cannabis information from folks who know. We hope you'll stop by next week. Remember to like and share. Peace out.